morning everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about torture in detail, and in the later section of the video we are going to also discuss about custodial death. And in torture, the definition of the torture, and followed by the ethical aspects, the legal aspects, and followed by the types of torture and the complications, the sequelae, and the role of the RMP relating to a case or a victim of a torture, and followed by the legal, medical legal importance towards torture, and followed by, in the last section, again the custodial death, and when and where a death will be named as a custodial death, and what are their practical implications, and what are the chances of causing of death during a physical restraint during the course of arresting the offender, and followed by the summary and the end title. Torture, and here it has been declared during the Tokyo Summit in 1975 by World Medical Association, and here it states that any act of deliberate, systemic, wanton infliction of a physical or a mental suffering by one or more persons, either acting alone or on the orders of any authority, to force another person to yield information, to make a confession, or for any other reason, is called as torture. Relatively a lengthy definition, at least the essence of it to be reproduced during course of Viva. And here, even from ancient period, where the rulers and the dictators have created a panic among the society by inflicting tortures on their own citizens of the state, and here they employ various methods or means of any sort of intimidation, either to keep their subjects under control or otherwise to create a horror in the minds of a people, and it was being employed. There have been infliction of tortures on the people or otherwise on the offender, and here in Kautilya's Arthasastiram, it also states that there has been a strong presumption of guilt on a person or on the suspect. Torturing can be employed to elicit a confession from the suspect, and it also gives a detailed list whom should be tortured and who are there, or whom should be exempted from the torture. And in detailing, it also provides 18 methods of torture, and 4 have been dealing with ordinary offences, and 14 are towards a serious offences. And here, serious offences could be of any act of heinous crimes, even it includes murder, rape, defaulty, anything of for the purpose. And in ordinary offences, 6 strokes with a stick, 7 lashes with a whip, and either by suspending the person by arm tied together from above, and water tubing, or pouring a salt water through the external orifices or through the nose in particular. And these are the punishments for an ordinary offense. And in case of it, as early said, there are it has been listed as 14 for serious offences, and here it includes 9 strokes with a can, 12 lashes with a wipe, and followed by these punishments: tying the right leg to a head, left leg to a head, 20 strokes with a stick, 32 slaps, tying the right hand and foot at back, and those are other methods by which a individual can be tortured or during the phase of interrogation. And even in British era, a first early incidence of a custodial death has been reported in Madras in 1678, and by inflicting these of the tortural methods, we believe that we can able to obtain a confession from a person. And here again, and there are some methods of torture which will cause psychological issues in the victim, and followed by physical disfiguration or on the extreme physical force which have been applied. Even it can result in a sudden death of a person also. Articles of importance, and one such article from our Constitution of India, and other two are from Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And first of by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 3 states that every person has a right to life, liberty, and security of a person. And in Article 5, it states that no one shall be subjected to torture or any sort of cruelty, inhuman, degrading treatment, or any sort of a punishment. And according to our Article 21 of Indian Constitution, it guarantees no person shall be deprived for his life or on a personal liberty except according to the procedure established by the law itself. And here in ethical aspects, even the human rights and even our constitution, and here you can able to see, until otherwise a person is not an offender except according to the procedures established by the law. And in legal aspect, two IPCs you need to remember. One is 330 IPC and another is 331 IPC. And in 330 IPC, voluntarily causing a hurt due to an extort confession or compelling restoration of a property is punishable with imprisonment up to 7 years. And in 331 IPC, voluntarily causing a grievous hurt to extract a confession or complete restoration of a property is a punishable offense, and it is punished with imprisonment up to 10 years of term. And coming to the next slide, about reasons or otherwise objectives when and where an individual has been subjected to a torture. And first and foremost is to obtain information from the person, and second is to sign a document. Third is as an act of revenge, a victim has been subjected for a torture. And fourth is to obtain a testimony against him or against other. The individual has been suffered with torture methods. And fifth is to spread terror in the society or on the country itself. And here the main reason behind is most common of it are first three, where seeking information relating to any of the information. Most commonly, an offender will be subjected for torture either to disclose the information or the reason behind the crime. And second such will be to sign a document in form of gundas, where they involve money laundering and other extreme cases where they force a person to sign a document, or for compelling in a cash in transfer or in any sort of an extortion in cases of difficulty, and these have been involved. And the third such is to take in a revenge, either most commonly again by gundas. They do these sort of activities. And this slide is about physical torture. And in physical torture, these are the listed things. And before going to the explanation towards this slide, and this being the first type of torture, and followed by there are psychological tortures and sexual tortures and deprivation techniques and other psychological methods of inducing tortures are being discussed, and out of which physical torture is most commonly employed. And here, when and where a physical torture has been employed, the resultant part or on a body part which has been exposed will go for multiple injuries, and according to the type or the method, which type of torture or method of torture that has been employed. And out of physical torture, beating is the most common type of physical torture, and either the parts like soles, thighs, a part of leg, abdomen, and head can also be a most commonly or most common preferred sites for inflicting torture. And other most difficulty, and when you refer some standard books, the books we follow, where they mention around 32 types of physical torture, and for an undergraduate to remember all 32 is highly difficult, where when and where it has been asked as an essay or on a short note, where people at least should mention 10 by remembering some most important, or when and where you come across those terminologies like Felanga, Telfano, and other like Submarino, and these types of new terminologies, where a question pattern where it includes a 1 mark question or an MCQ sort of question where a persons remember in a single terminology and they fail to remember the other synonyms, and if those other synonyms have been asked as a part of a question where people struggle to write the answers. So better by making any sort of a mnemonic or otherwise by repeated reading, you can able to remember the other terminologies. And even though uh, they don't complicate an undergraduate question paper, but it may be useful even for your post PG, pre PG preparations and other. And coming to the description again, beating on souls, and beating on souls is nothing but Felanga, where a victim will be placed in a prone position where with the help of a hard and blunt object, the exposed soul part will go for a repeated infliction of swing within a hard and blunt object where it will be struck multiple times, where soft tissues, the the external as well as the underlying tissues will show features of contusion. And in cases of thigh, again with an hard and blunt object, either on a can or otherwise in a stick or any even a steel rod, can be used to inflict a multiple beating or by physical torture. And here the point of importance is when an organ or the target site being abdomen or otherwise head, where even underlying organs can also or underlying viscera can also go for an infliction of injury, and they can also result in a rupture or even an extensive internal hemorrhage can also occur. And even from the previous videos posted or relating to the videos relating to regional injuries, where a point that has been discussed where a minimal force which has been applied on a diseased organ, where that minimal force on a normal subject will not cause a rupture, but that minimal force which has acted on a diseased organ can result in a rupture. Is a rupture followed by a sudden collapse, and it can even result in a sudden death of a person also. And here most commonly a diseased spleen or in a diseased liver, where most commonly injured during a blunt trauma injury, and individual receiving multiple injuries over an abdomen on infliction of beating with the help of any hard and blunt object, where viscera can go for a rupture. And same such relating to head injuries from the previous videos posted, where according to the part of a head that has been involved, where corresponding vessels nearby or underlying soft tissues can go for an injury. And even in extreme cases where extreme forces have been used, even it can result in hemorrhages underlying the viscera. And according to the type of hemorrhage that has been presented with, some symptoms will vary. And when you come to the word like Telfano is nothing but repeated slaps over the part of the external ear on the extreme forces, and it can even result in rupture of tympanic membrane, where it can result in an impairment of hearing, and again a loss of a function can also occur. And relating to fingers, mouth, and hair. And here, in case of fingers, where a fingers with the placing of a hard and blunt object between the fingers, either it can be squeezed or otherwise it can be twisted, or otherwise nails of the finger can be pulled with the help of any weapon, by which it can causes denailing, and extreme pain can occur. Even persons on multiple attempts, even the pain can result in a vasovagal shock, and the individual can result in a sudden death of a person. And relating to mouth again. Mouth here either by inserting uh, any sort of an object within a mouth, or otherwise suffocating the individual with pouring in a fecal ordered material, or in a foul smelling water can be infused into the mouth, or obstructing the airway, causing an asphyxial form of torture can also occur. And relating to hair, where individual hair can be tied on the part of a suspending object, where individual can be suspended by that, or on a extreme force that can even cause us denuding of scalp layers, and even extreme force can result in pulling of the scalp even on the single attempt. And relating to disfiguration, where pouring of corrosive acids, alkalis as even a form of a threat or an extreme force, or uh, which has even in case it has been poured, it can cause us a disfiguration of a face, and ultimately disfiguring of external features can also occur. And in case of mutilation, where a finger or a part of an extremity can be mutilated, and extreme pain can occur, again vasovagal shock, collapse can occur, and other possible uh, sequelae. And wet dry, and there are some images, so it can be discussed in later. And relating to suspension, where a person can be suspended with the help of an arm, or otherwise it can be suspended from a height, either upside down or on the prone, semi-prone, according to the uh, part which has been tied. And that part, localized part, can go for a contusion, even electric shock, or applying irritant substances, asphyxial tortures, or other ways of physical tortures. Again, I stress upon there are numerous points that have been included from the in the textbook, where I just explain only minimal points, or the points which requires an extra importance, or that need explanation has been discussed. It doesn't mean these are important. Even you just read through other discussed topics under the physical tortures, and again there are numerous terminologies, new terminologies. Without reading those terminologies, it will be highly difficult. Either by making mnemonic or repeated reading, you can master those terminologies. Individual has been tied with the help of a cord, and the cord has encircled the part of our wrist, and where a person stands begin, and he throws the whip, and it has caused multiple contusion pattern abrasions, contusions on the part of a back aspect of a individual, and here individual has been suspended. And when this person has been brought for an autopsy or for an examination, and you can able to see impression marks made by the material, ligature material, which has been tied on this part, and followed by pouring, even it could be an irritant substance which has been poured. And usually multiple methods of torture will be involved, not only a single method, multiple methods will be involved. And on the image on the right side, where you see individual has been confined to on a chair with the tying of upper part of our body, the middle part of the body has been tied, and even extremities have been tied, followed by pouring of irritant substance from the head, and it could be any of the material, even it could be of a fecal material, or otherwise irritant material which is about to be poured, and ultimately according to the fluid and associated torture methods can result in the one of the method by which the individual or the personal or unauthorized person can elicit a confession or to make any statement required for any of the offenses. If it been a case of an offender, or otherwise a case of a suspect, he can obtain a statement from the person. And in case of an felanga, where the person has been made in prone position, where his soul has been exposed, where with the help of a whip or any sort of a hard and blunt object, where most commonly stick, club, or any rifle butt or any steel rod can be used, where individuals repeatedly bear an infliction of pain or an assault on the part of the soul. And in here extreme case where person's arm has been tied within a ligature material, again a pattern condition can be demonstrated here. And according to the area involved, uh, the underlying soft tissues will show features of contusion. And this is Felanga, and followed by, and here extremely painful, and even contusions found, again point has been discussed, and even if the external surface can go for hyperpigmentation along the lines of injury, and in cases where internal losing and aseptic necrosis is also a possible complication of this method of torture. And coming to dry submerno, where a person, where either by using an irritant substance or any foul smelling solid substance which has been placed in a plastic bag or any cautery, where his face has been immersed into, or otherwise the cautery has been tied along his neck, and followed by individual has been in near state of suffocation, and ultimately a form of asphyxial torture, or in cases of death relating by this method of torture, where features of asphyxia will be present. And in slide next, wet submerno, where the individual will be submerged into an irritant fluid or any sort of foul smelling or an fecal water, where individual will be submerged, and individual is almost in upside down, where again ligature material tied on the part of an ankle near to the ankle joint, and even in part of near to the wrist joint, followed by individual being submerged repeatedly under water or any sort of foul liquid, especially sewage water. And here forceful immersion of his head, and otherwise head followed by the other parts, where if we are about to do on the course of treatment, in later point, right, on course of treatment or on during autopsy, where we can able to find out some sort of derby or any sort of foreign particle within upper respiratory tract or an upper GAT or within the content of a stomach itself, where a particle would have leaked through or which could have been slipped into, and where person can inhale or can uh, ingest the fluid, and it can be present in upper respiratory or in upper GAT, and on course of treatment or on course of autopsy. And if we have made this finding, again it should be collected and it should be preserved. And here again the other names, like for an wet submerno, the other names most commonly referred to as water torture, water cure, or an dunking, and these are the other synonyms. Again, this is another method of asphyxial torture, where wet and dry submerno or otherwise or the types of asphyxial tortures. And slide, where it is in a parrot pitch type of torture, and here victim is being in head down position from a horizontal pole that has been placed between or just underneath the knee, and followed by a wrist have been bounded to an ankle, and it almost appears to be in a parrot pitch or on a parrot jack type of appearance. Here bruises or otherwise scars can be seen in anterior part of a forearm region, where this pole comes in contact, or on the part of a back of a knee. Back of a knee can show bruises or otherwise scars. The other name for bruises is contusion. Again, here a type of posture and ultimately a very uncomfortable posture for the victim, and where either individual could receive infliction of beating or other forms of torture will be associated with this type of posture, where here highly uncomfortable and even individual can go to phases of syncope even, or even a loss of consciousness for a repeated prolongation of this sort of posture. And again, I repeat, bruises will be seen in anterior part of forearm and or otherwise on the back aspect of the knee area. And this slide is about the other types of physical torture, and hope disfiguration has been discussed in early. And here the other such terminology you need to remember is cattle prod, or otherwise an electric shock type of torture, where a magneto will be delivering a high voltage of current, and which can result in burns on the part of a skin which comes into contact, and it can produce extreme burns, and even death can also occur in other cases. And in extreme cases or in extreme forms of torture, where magneto may be placed on the genitalia of the victim, and in case of a male, a part of a penis or otherwise a part of a scrotum are being a site of target, and in case of a female, nipples will be preferred, and where an electric prod or an electric magneto will be placed on those part also. And in case of an electric shock, where a sort of a chamber or a separate chair type, where the individual will be tied along its wrist, and foot will be tied along, and where the person will be confined to a chair, and after which a magneto will be delivering a high voltage electric shock. And here the other method of torture is black slave. Here in black slave is nothing but a heated metal screwer which has been inserted into an anus, and where it can result in perianal or otherwise rectal burns can occur. And Chinhua again, it has been discussed. So these are the other methods of torture, and other physical method of torture is along asking the individual to stand in a hot sun on a leg for a prolonged period. In those cases, the extremities will show features of edema. And in disfiguration, either it could be an act by pouring acid alkali, or otherwise causing mutilations and other. In psychological torture, where deprivation techniques, and here the individual will be in a solitary confinement room, and where either the other methods of deprivations could be of a social deprivation, sensory, perceptual, sleep, nutritional, hygienic, and health services. It means that the person will be devoid of these access or these forms of methods. For example, a continuous sleep deprivation, it means that you don't allow a person to sleep in a high pitched song or a high pitched noise which has been played continuously, and individual has been not allowed to sleep on continuous days, where his psychological status will be affected. And in case of a nutritional, where person is not being provided with adequate nutrition food, where a person is to made intentionally starved for many hours or days or even years. And in case of hygienic, relating to wound care, and providing in a proper place for defecation and other will be deprived. And in case of health services, where person sustained multiple external injuries and other issues relating to previous methods of torture infliction, where adequate medical attention which has not been given, and those can lead to these are the forms of psychological torture. In that, it is of whatever we have seen, it is of deprivation techniques. And coming to next slide, coming to second subtype relating to psychological torture. And in previous slide, we discussed about deprivation techniques, and here it is about coercion techniques, where a person will be provided with impossible choices. And the second such is in form of humiliations, threats, blind obedience to the rules provided or any instruction given. And the fifth such is sexual torture. And from the earlier discussions from the slides, where sexual tortures will be discussed separately in some textbooks. In some textbooks, sexual torture will be discussed underneath the psychological form of torture. And here, in form of humiliations, where or in form of threats, where their dear ones, their caregiver will be taken into custody, or they without taking them into custody, they give a false information to threat the victim, where they have been taken into custody, and they also been receiving multiple methods of torture, and followed by ultimate objective of this is to create or to destroy the individual's personality, and to create an intense fear or induce anxiety, or to provide a guilt or a shame on the person. And for and when it has been continued for a longer phase, where individual loses self-esteem, and becoming into state of psychological depression can occur. And in this form of physiological torture, where another such terminology which has been not been discussed in this textbook that we follow, one such is same execution, where victim being blindfolded and made to stand against a wall, uh, where he will be threatened that a vehicle is about to hit him or is going to hit him, and in reality there is no such vehicle, but individual will fear, or otherwise only the audio relating, where a vehicle is about to start, or only a stepping vehicle noise has been given, has been provided to hear, where individual be in a state of a threat. And again, the ultimate aim behind is to create, to destroy the personality, or to intensify the fear on the person. And in relating to here, the individual will be undressed and standing in front of a large gathering or in a public, and second such incident of rape or infliction of injuries to the private part, or introduction of foreign bodies into the external genitalia is also done here. Sexual assault like a rape, or a gang rape, or on a forced masturbation, or on a forced act of sodomy is also possible. And in cases of parading a person after undressing, either the individual can be photographed and humiliating positions, and usually female have been prone for. And in extreme cases where forced abortion, pinching or biting of nipples, and applying electric magneto on part of genitalia, and followed by applying high voltage of current, can also be done as a part of a sexual torture. And in case of introduction of foreign body, where inserting in a bottle rod inside the external genitalia can causes localized injuries, or in extreme cases where even it can causes perforations of underlying viscera, especially in case of female, where uterus can also go for rupture. And this sort of humiliation is just to a form of sexual torture. And here again, psychological assault, purely a psychological assault on the person. And this is about sexual torture. And the next slide, complications or the sequelae relating to this tortural methods. First and foremost, where there been a discontinuity of soft tissue, or on the external surface of a body, where there been a discontinuity, it can result in infection. And here in infection, even relating to psychological torture, where we also discussed about healthcare deprivation, where a person will be denied of any health assistance, where it can even result in high grade fever. Even in extreme cases, it can even result to septicemia, and other possible complications can occur due to an external injury or even an internal injury. And the second such is disfiguration of face will be another complication, where uh, applying irritant substance or mutilating part of a face, either nose, ear, when it go for mutilation, where ultimately it causes disfiguration of a uh, facial disfiguration of the facial features. And third is impairment of hearing and sight. And here in hearing, when a tortural method called Telfano, where repeated slapping on the external ear can cause a rupture of tympanic membrane, and followed by functional impairment can also occur. On the sight, pouring in a irritant substance or poking with a hard blunt object or in a sharp penetrating object, where corneal abrasions or corneal injuries or an eye injury can complicate, and it can even result in impairment of sight of a person. And in psychological disturbances, and the previous slides, where it can result in extreme anxiety, depression, or in form of phobia in the person. And where on the phases of recovery or on the phases of rehabilitation, where persons may show features of post-traumatic stress disorder, and it will be associated with sleep disturbances, where individual will recollect the past occurrence when and where he has been when and where he has been exposed with the objects that has been used during the course of torture. And this will be the difficult part, um, where our failure of treatment can occur relating to psychological disturbance of the person. And here the complete rehabilitation is necessary, and failure to address the psychological issues, where the entire treatment can go for a failure. And point number 5, shame to a social stigma, where a person where is past the past happenings, that has been known to the society or to the community, where individual been rejected, and if he has been employed to any of the companies or any factories, industries, where he loses his job, and followed by social deprivations can also can occur, where he lose a connect with the community, and even in extreme cases, even rejection by his own family members, the society and the community can occur. And ultimately, all these social deprivations and psychological disturbances can ultimately increase the suicidal tendency of a person, where in a failed attempt or in a successful suicidal attempt can lead to the death of a person. And here again, our more course of treatment will be relating to rehabilitation of the person, where psychological factors and psychological issues need to be addressed at a larger sense, and causing disfiguration of face and other will be of minimal, because due to awareness among the community, and there have been rules and regulations relating to human violations, human rights, where there are many NGOs acting upon, and even many of the governments have signed the documents relating to we don't subject a person to this sort of physical torture and other, where in recent trend psychological torture have been in practiced in a larger sense, where there will be minimal of external injuries on the person. So the disfiguration and these first 3 points will be minimal complications noted in recent time, where psychological disturbances will be in maximum in grade, and it should be addressed, and in part of rehabilitation of a victim. Of physician relating to torture methods, where a physician should not be in part relating to torture, where he should not aid in or otherwise to be in a party where he suggests a method of torture or a concealment of torture is considered as a crime where either he go on hand with another agency and it is a pure clinical violation of a human right. And in part of treatment where medical management will be minimal from the earlier slide relating to complications and sequels where medical management will be minimal where psychological therapy will be often maximum grade. In psychological therapy, as in part of a complications we discussed, where individual may go to phases of depressions or may suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, where prescribing appropriate antidepressants and providing repeated counseling and other psychotropic medications to be provided. And in part of counseling and in the psychological therapy, where the victim need to be undergoing therapy relating to cognitive behavioral therapy, and even the family counterparts need to be counseled relating to the by explaining the current situation of the victim, and in cases where physiotherapy is also required. And in types of medical involvement where part of an RMP comes in, and here first 4 points where a RMP should not do, and first and foremost assessing a torture technique, which torture technique may be suitable or which may be adaptable for an individual, and we give some sort of a physical fitness like this if this torture method has been employed on this individual and he can withstand, so those sort of things we should avoid. And second such is we should not train others to practice torture or to execute any methods of tortures on the victim. And third such is assessing any detainees for fitness, almost relating to the point number 1, and providing or suggesting any methods of torture on the victim is forbidden. And out of 7, first 3, a doctor or an RMP should not involved in a course, and if he is involved, it is a violation of a human right. And in point of 5, reviving detainees and providing treatment and rehabilitation of the survivors, where his major concern is towards, where if he on the course of treatment and he about to notice some of the for example, if an individual has been tied for on a longer phase where a localized contusion and part of a wrist may be noticed, and a detailed examination or by interrogating a by taking in a proper history, we can able to discover some of the methods of torture on the external examination itself, and from the history and the psychological state or the behavioral pattern of the patient himself can leads to some of the clues. So an RMP should able to note those clues, and he should come to a conclusion if there been an infliction of torture, and it is the duty of an RMP to inform to the concerned authority. And point number 7 is of the all 7 listed, top 4 a doctor or an RMP should not do, and the top and the bottom 3 he should do, and his work is more towards point number 6 and 7. And medical legal importance where 303 IPC, where a hurt that has been voluntarily caused to extort a confession or to compel restoration of a property is punishable, and imprisonment is up to 7 years. And by the IPC 331, where voluntarily causing a grievous hurt on course of torture is punishable with an imprisonment up to 10 years. So these are 2 IPCs relating to torture. From now it is about custodial death, and here what are the circumstances when a death of a person occurs, and when it will be termed as a custodial death, and followed by during course of arresting an individual, and the types of restraint that have been involved, and what are the complications or what are the issues relating to restraint of an offender during course of arresting the individual, and in cases of death relating to lockups, and what are the possible pathophysiology involved will be discussed. And coming to the custodial death, and here death of a person in a prison as well as in police custody will be termed as a custodial death. And point number two, where death of a person that has been caused or otherwise contributed by a traumatic injuries that has been sustained or otherwise due to lack of proper care while in custody or in phases of detention. And point number three, death of a person in process of police or a prisoner officers attempting to detain that person. And for such process of escaping or an attempt to escape from a prison or otherwise in a police custody. And when a death occurs of all four listed reasons, then it will be termed as a custodial death. And here, when and where you receive a individual for an autopsy relating to custodial death, the procedures protocols are almost similar, but there are some differences where by recording the valuable findings and considerably the importance related, and the document and drawing a conclusion relating to the death are more of a legal value. And here, and it should be carried out with enough proper attention, and detailing the injuries are more crucial. And coming to next slide, where there been a physical restraint of an offender, one such method employed is chokehold, or otherwise synonymous towards bar arm hold. And here, part of a forearm of a police officer has been involved, and it is placed exactly straight across the front aspect of a neck, and the free hand grips the wrist and pulls it backward, and due to this resultant force or the position, here it can causes obstruction of the airway, and even carotid arteries will go for an obstruction, where and followed by this mechanism, it can result in an immediate unconscious state. And chokehold is forearm is being held against the neck, and it been straight, and it has been compressed, where there will be obstructions of airway and carotid arteries. And according to the force applied, even higher bone can go for a fracture, or otherwise on a part of a larynx can go into a fracture. And here the most common even pathomechanism is begin the death is features of hypoxia and fatal cardiac arrhythmia are responsible. And in extreme cases, even fractures of higher bone can also result in, but those are far in minimal possibility. And the most responsible factor is the feature of hypoxia and fatal cardiac arrhythmias are responsible when an offender who has been held in chokehold position during the course of physical restraint. And the other type of hold is carotid sleeper hold, where the person's anterior cubital fossa is just being placed above the neck of an individual, where it has been centered at the midline of a neck, where the following hand grips towards the wrist and arm being pulled backwards, which may compress carotid arteries and jugular veins. And here, vertebral arteries and the trachea won't be in involvement. And here, it is otherwise known as lateral vascular neck restraint. And in initial phases of restraint, where there will be loss of consciousness, and in the initial phase, it takes around 10 to 15 seconds, and after which the pressure that has been released, where there will be regain of consciousness in another 20 seconds in lapse of time. And here the neck structures won't be damaged, and if in cases of bar hold or chokehold, where the fractures of neck structures like hyoid and larynx are possible, but in carotid sleeper hold where neck structures are being devoid of any injuries. And death rarely occurs, and even if death occurs, it may be due to features of hypoxia or a sudden vagal shock. The other method of restraint is hog tying, where a person being placed in a prone position with his wrist and the ankles have been bounded between his back and secured by a cord or any ligature material. Again, it is a type of a physical restraint, and here death rarely occurs, and it could be of a physical exertion where an individual has been a known case of suffering from heart diseases due to stress and exertion can cause a death. And this is otherwise known as total appendage restraint procedure. Again, these have been employed, and these three are types of physical restraint or during the course of arresting or taking a person into custody. And here bar hold is being banned, and no longer bar hold has been practiced, where hog tying and carotid sleeper hold are still being practiced. And this slide shows about death during lockup, death during a natural cause, or otherwise in a suicide in a custody. And first and foremost, we discuss about death during a lockup, and relating towards an intoxicated offender who has been taken into a lockup or towards a custody for further interrogation. And here, in case, quoting some past lines that have been discussed in the regional injuries video lectures, where we have stated that there have been a tableau column where we differentiated drunkenness from the head injury, or otherwise when an individual who has been in state of drunkenness should not be taken into custody, even though he been an offender. He should be kept in observation for at least 24 hours, and followed by after obtaining enough fitness, then the individual can be taken into custody. And quoting those lines, we will discuss or we will proceed with this explanation to this slide. What are the legal issues? For example, an intoxicated individual. Here we just take example of the individual being in state of alcohol intoxication, where his reflexes will be lost, or a simple regurgitation, or an act of vomit, or an act of vomit, where his own food particles or his own regurgitation may be aspirated into a respiratory pathway, where it can lead to a respiratory compromise, or otherwise it can even result in a choking, and a death can occur. That's the reason began an intoxicated individual should not be taken into custody. The individual to be kept in a hospital for at least a 24-hour observation, and after which he can be taken into custody. And in case where there been a features of physical injuries on the person or on the offender himself, either it could have occurred during the course of escape or during the course of physical restraint. And even that is the reason began whenever an offender has been taken into custody, there will be an initial screening at the hospital regarding the fitness of the offender, and if it satisfies, then the individual will be taken into custody. And here, in case where an RMP, due to an act of negligence or otherwise he fails to do a complete proper examination, and he miss out some sort of an injury, or there been a history of a head injury where an RMP fails to order an X-ray, and it being a occult hemorrhage within, where signs and symptoms are almost normal on examination, but there been a history of head injury, and he fails to rule out by an X-ray, where a fracture or a hairline fracture which has resulted in laceration of the vascular system within, where the origin of being venous, where it delays to appear, and if it in case of an arterial insult, where bleeding will be of initially fast, and the signs and symptoms will be such rapid. And if in case of a venous injury, it will be of minimal, where they take some time to take a complete clinical course. So in those cases, if we fail to do a proper external examination, where it can result into a legal issue in later point of time, and it will be a burden for the RMP as well as for the police officer who has taken him for custody. And again, in physical injury, either by tortures during the detainee, where individual receives a kick or act of stomping, where these injuries can even result in a sudden vasovagal death of a person during the course of a lockup or during the courses of custody. And point towards death due to natural causes. In death due to natural causes, it could be of an offender who has been suffering from any of a cardiovascular disorder, or an as an act of an emotional upset, where it may precipitate the acute cardiac crisis, in which there, due to presence of a severe pre-existing cardiac diseases or any sort of comorbid conditions, can result to a natural death of a person. And in those cases, again, by doing a complete autopsy, we could find out the exact cause behind. And a death that occurs in a lockup or occurs in custody of a police officer, where again it is being termed as a custodial death, where the procedures protocols completely differs from the routine medical legal autopsy. And in next video, we will be just showing what are the procedures relating to the autopsies relating to custodial deaths. And because it is already in a lengthy video, if I start explaining, it will be too much burden and too much confusion can happen. And relating to this point, suicide in custody, and most commonly hanging by the dhoti he was wearing, or otherwise any sort of ligature material which has been found in the lockup, can be used as a ligature material. And in extreme cases, consumption of any poison which has been hidden within his clothes or within his custody can be consumed, and it can present as a case of a poisoning in the custody also. And even in extreme cases, where an offender may jump from the height, or otherwise with materials available within the circumstance, where he choose any of the weapon, and even he can inflict an injury on a part of a throat or on a part of a larger blood vessel, where it could be the reasons for the suicide during the course of a custody. And coming to this, and relating just a note alone, right? And it will be explained the entire autopsy protocol relating to custodial death, and the recommendations provided by National Human Rights Commission, and what are the other extra procedures we do, complete. Those are the features that differ from a medical legal autopsy, will be discussed in the next video. And just a note of it, where a meticulous autopsy is required to confirm or otherwise to dispel the allegations of the custodial death, and extensive notes must be made, including description of how the disease was identified, and by documenting injuries and making a Y-shaped incision, and followed by making incisions on the posterior aspect of a body, and their importance, and what are the reasons behind doing this sort of incision on the posterior aspect of the body, will be discussed in next video. Thank you so much for your patient listening. And types of torture, there have been numerous new terminologies, and they are synonyms to be remembered, and either by doing forming a mnemonic, or otherwise by repeated reading, you can master those. And point number 2, as a part of an RMP, we are providing a treatment and providing rehabilitation to the survivors are more essential. And in part of treatment, medical and psychological psychological holds the maximum responsibility, maximum part. And point number three, and we need to avoid situations or the objects that revoke the past occurrence in remembering the past events. We need to avoid those, and we need to address issues like post traumatic stress disorder, sleep disturbances, and avoiding social stigma. Uh, those are the issues. And point number four, IPC number 330 and 331 to be remembered. And even from the initial explanation slide to the last slide, we did not come across words like internal assessment, class test, and expecting students to submit their assignment on the particular day, which has been not discussed. And it means that these are not forms of torture. Even WMA and the declarations made in art rights, it does not explain these forms as these words as a torture.